We see what they do. We see how they operate. We have billionaires in the marijuana industry and black people locked up for marijuana. Haven't been freed yet. They should have been out the same day they approved it. Everyone should have been freed. They should have been let go. But they're not going to do that. They're not going to do that. So the same level that their races get and of approval and justification for the atrocities that happen to them, we need to be getting the same level. We don't need a Martin Luther King Street where when you go to Martin Luther King Street in every city, it's the ghetto. You're afraid to even get out of your car. You know what I'm saying? We don't need a Black History Month in the shortest month of the year, February. We don't need that. We don't need schools now trying to stop the teaching of real history of America and how America was built on the backs of black slaves. We don't need to hide that information from anybody. It needs to be known. The past needs to be known so we don't make the same mistake in the future. You don't hide and sweep things under the rug just to save somebody's emotions. No, you let them know what happened so they can realize we got to find a better way. Still to this day, no reparations are paid to any black people in America for what has happened, the atrocities that have happened in the past and are still currently happening today. Today. My own father was beat to death by cops. He didn't die the same day as the beating, but as a result of the broken back and the concussions, he died. A 74-year-old man that weighed about 110 pounds, soaking wet, at a concert in the front row having a great time because one of the others, made a phone call to 911. We have the 911 tapes because we had to go to court for this and we won. And said that there was a black vagrant drunk harassing people in the front row just because this person was jealous that they didn't have a front row seat. 4 cops came in and beat my father almost to death in front of all those people, which eventually he died anyway. He ended up having it was over 100 seizures within like 4 or 5 hours, which erased his brain. Erased it. And for me, you know, having to pull the plug, having to make the decision to pull the plug first on my mother, and then because of toxic foods that she was eating, which is the stuff that they sell at the store, owned by the corporations, and who runs those corporations, it wasn't black people. I had to make the decision to pull the plug on my mother, and then guess what I had to do? Turn around 11 years later, and I had to make a decision to pull the plug on my own father. Why? Because these people, they don't care about us in a lot of ways.